Foodpairing and EIT Food proudly welcome you to Eating the Gap, Part 3, Kitchen 4.0. Meet your host, Kevin Major.
Well, hello there, and welcome to Eating the Gap, brought to you from Belgium, but streamed worldwide. It's important, this one, Eating the Gap, because we're talking and gonna explore how our eating habits will change in the future. Not even that, how our eating habits must change in the future. Must. Why? Well, you'll find out. We're going to talk about the plant-based revolution. We're going to talk about healthy food and Kitchen 4.0. Don't know what that means. Doesn't matter. We have great guests who will tell you all about that. One of the first guests that we have during Eating the Gap is Bernard. Bernard is the founding father of this event, the brains behind the operation. Bernard, why is Eating the Gap so necessary?
Well, Kevin, our food system is broken. If we already didn't know that, COVID has made that really clear. We all have seen the images of fresh produce thrown away. For Belgium, only for potatoes, 705,000 tons of potato was wasted. And that's on top of the 30% of food waste we have in normal times. And at the same time, we have more and more people that are hungry and that need to rely on food banks. And what is worse is COVID is just one of the many disruptions we face. More chronic and more complex is pressure more complex and chronic than pressure from COVID is actually the pressure from climate change.
You can see that here.
Yeah. And in climate change, our food takes a central role. Our food system is responsible for 25% of the CO2 emission, 25%. And add to that the cost of healthcare, the cost of biodiversity loss that exceeds more than $12 trillion per year. $12 trillion, that's a 12 with 12 zeros.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So that's not sustainable. There are too many gaps.
Yeah, too many gaps. These are horrific images, but they don't need to be horrific. Stuff can be done, but what can be done? That's the question.
Well, the good news is we all can change this. We have to eat every day, and with every bite, we can have an impact. Chefs, startups can lead us to do that. They are the game changers. They can help us to make a transition towards more healthy, more sustainable food while keeping the deliciousness. Eating the Gap provides a platform for inspiration, for actionable insights, for future-forward food on how to overcome those challenges. The food system needs to work for everybody on the planet.
Yeah, everybody on the planet. So not only chefs, not only the people that really are in that business, but regular people as well. How are you going to do that to get them engaged?
Yeah. Well, the original idea was to get the game changers to an event in Ghent, but because of COVID, that was not possible. Mm-hmm. But despite of COVID, we find a way actually to bring all those game changers together by connecting the chefs, the academics, the startups here live in this virtual kitchen. We can actually connect these.
Yeah, worldwide event, as I already said, with some graphic features as well. And this is one of those. What graphic feature do we see here?
Well, as we cannot be together physically, we cannot smell what the chefs are cooking. But Foodpairing is digitizing food for more than 10 years. And by visualizing the food, we can give you an idea how it would smell more or less. So these aroma wheels you will see from time to time popping up. So these aroma wheels, what do you see? You have an inner circle, and this maps out the 14 aroma types. Through research, we found out that we can describe the whole flavor space through 14 aroma types. And the second ring indicates more detail, and the width indicates how intense each descriptor is. So, for example, we have here vanilla. It is obvious to find vanilla as an important descriptor. but for example, that's also smoky. We can go to a more complex profile of, for example, strawberry. So we have strawberry here. So if you look at strawberry, we see fruity, coconut, grassy, caramel, cheesy notes. We don't see any strawberry. Well, that comes because in our brain, we combine those 5 aromas to strawberry. There's not something as a strawberry aroma. We really construct it in our brain. If you want to know more about that, go to our blog, or we just published a new book, The Art and Science of Food Pairing, and there you will find the aroma lexicon. You will find more information about the aroma, and on top of that, you will have more than 10,000 combinations that can inspire you when you're cooking.
So Bernard, that's the aroma wheel, but there's more graphics to be had during Eating the Gap. This one, for instance, I don't understand anything. What's this?
Well, Kevin, this is a flavor ID, and the flavor ID is your personal flavor passport to discover the food you like. For example, this is mine for vegetables. Surprisingly, you find roasted and animal, but that's because the algorithm found out that ingredients that have more roasted and animal notes is actually what drives my liking. Okay. So, for example, I like pan-roasted mushrooms. If you then look at your flavor ID,
something quite different.
That's indeed different. So the algorithm found that fruity and green are drivers of liking, so that means that, for example, butternut or sweet potato or chili will be ingredients that you will like. If people are interested to make their own flavor ID, they can go to my.flavor.id and they can find out what their own flavor ID is. And that flavor ID will be used throughout the sessions to find out what food people will like.
Yeah, so you notice Eating the Gap, very interactive. We have the aroma wheel, we have the flavor ID. What's more coming up?
Well, for the next sessions, it's about Kitchen 4.0, it's about the future. But when you look into the future, it's also important to look into the past and to embrace good practices from the past, like local, seasonal, extensive agriculture, but then look into the future and see how startups, how chefs can actually embrace digital, technological, and circular solutions to help us to make that transition towards a more healthy and sustainable diet.
Okay, so the past and the future combined, that's what's coming up in Eating the Gap. Stay tuned.